The Banshee is one of the most well-known and terrifying of the Irish fairies. Her wailing shriek is an omen of death. Also known as the Washer at the Fords or the Hag of the Dribble, the Banshee lingers hunched by lonely rivers, washing winding burial shrouds, and sometimes human heads or limbs, until the water goes red with blood. Witnesses have described her as tall and pale, with stringy hair and long black teeth. Dressed in a white, red, or green gown, and usually dripping wet, she looks like a corpse that was just fished out of the river. When not by the water, the Banshee can sometimes be spotted haunting secluded hillsides in search of a healthy young man she can drain of blood. Or she might be seen squatting by the door of someone about to die, or standing at his window tapping on the glass. But most of the time, banshees are heard and not seen. Her mourning wail, known as a keen, is said to be bone-chillingly petrifying, a sound that once heard can never be forgotten, and that sometimes carries the name of the one about to die. Barguests are shapeshifters and can take on any form they choose, from white cats with glowing eyes to headless men or vicious-looking rabbits. But most often, barghests appear as massive black dogs. The name barguest likely comes from the words barn and ghost, for these creatures tend to haunt farms, small villages, and other rural places. Like the Banshee, the barguest is an omen of death, though it's not necessarily fatal to see one. A number of tales tell of barguests who appear simply to terrify the victim, leaving them alone afterwards to live a normal life. Though coming across a barguest is still considered extremely unlucky. Witnesses have described it as a sinister black dog, bigger than you've ever seen, close to the size of a calf or even a horse. Its eyes glow like fire and are sometimes as big as saucers. Its howl is enough to fill even the bravest person with terror, though its large paws make no sound at all against the ground. Also known as Gabriel's hounds, the dogs of hell, or the dogs of the darkness, these fairies prefer to appear at night or in the mist, and to haunt graveyards, crossroads, or lonesome fields. There are certain areas plagued by barguest appearances, so much so that these barguests have earned local nicknames. The most famous of these include Black Angus of Scotland, Black Shuck or Shock of Norfolk, Suffolk, and Essex, the Bone Gnar of Normandy, and Old Red Eyes from Belgium. If you happen to come across a barguest, there is little else you can do but run and hope that its appearance is only meant to terrify and not to foretell. The boggart is a malicious species of fairy that invades homes and wreaks havoc, much like a poltergeist. Boggarts are known to shift and overturn furniture, cause cupboards and drawers to fly open, slam bedroom doors shut, smash plates and precious things, and steal important items like car keys. And they do it all for the pleasure of causing misery. Witnesses have described boggarts as squat and ugly creatures covered in hair, with sharp and nasty-looking teeth. Children are particularly vulnerable to boggarts, who enjoy tormenting young people by stealing their food and almost smothering them while they sleep. A house haunted by a boggart is a cold and frightening place where people feel constantly on edge. This is because the boggart lives on misery, consuming a household from the inside out. It also literally devours homes, acting like a termite or a carpenter ant, and slowly eating away at the house's foundations. There is no reasoning with a boggart. They are extremely ill-tempered, and any attempt to appease them will only irritate them. If a boggart ever sets up residence in your home, nothing short of a full exorcism will rid you of this fairy pest. Most everyone has heard of the boogeyman, but not many know that this creature is indeed classified as a fairy. The word boogie or bogey is believed to have come from the Middle English word bug or bog, which in turn gave us the word hobgoblin. The boogeyman is a hobgoblin, a uniquely terrifying hobgoblin known to specifically target and torment children. Though many parents use tales of the boogeyman to frighten naughty children into behaving, they might not be so eager to repeat the tales if they knew just how horrifying the boogeyman can be. Descriptions of the boogeyman vary wildly, likely because there is not one boogeyman, but many, and they manifest in a variety of forms. There's the sackman of Spain and Portugal, a monster with a sack on its head that carries away children in the night. There's the bugbear of Europe, a horrendous-looking bear that attacks children alone when they are sleeping and eats them whole. Bloody Bones of the United States is a monstrous figure covered in raw and bloody skin who is determined to make all others look as ugly as he does. Then there's Lady Midday of Slovenia, who steals unattended children and lops off their heads, or Black Annis of England, a blue-faced hag with yellow teeth and long claws, who murders children at twilight, strips off their skin, and eats it, and then spreads their bones over the countryside. Adults who believe they are safe from these boogeymen shouldn't get too comfortable either. The Boobach of Poland, who looks like a hideous scarecrow, is known to mimic the sounds of a lost baby to lure adults to their deaths. There is no known defense against the boogeyman, though it is thought that because they appear only at night, they may be adverse to light, a good reason to keep a flashlight close and your phone well charged when going out after dark. The boobrie is a fairy bird known to haunt oceans, lakes, and rivers, and even wells. It has pitch-black feathers, a massive 3-foot-long beak, and claws that resemble disfigured human hands. The boobrie is able to swim as if it's flying underwater, and appears as a huge black shape rippling under the waves. It is a predator, always seeking out fresh meat. Its preferred meals include sheep and cattle, but it will eat a human if it's hungry. With its large talons, it snatches its victims from the decks of ships or the shores of deep rivers, or from standing too close to a well. The boobrie is also a shapeshifter and is known to occasionally appear as a horse running along the surface of the water when a storm is brewing. Its hooves are even said to thunder over the waves as if upon the earth. It can also transform into a massive insect and drain its victims of blood with giant mosquito-like mandibles. When the boobrie attacks and fails to capture its prey, it releases a sound like an enraged bull, one so loud it can be heard for miles. The only way to avoid a boobrie attack is to stay far away from the water. But if you must go out on a boat, or even worse, swim, keep your eye out for a dark form under the waves. The bogeymen, also known as the herding boys, appear as evil-looking children. They were first reported hundreds of years ago in Ireland and Scotland as a menace to farmers who would complain of strange, wicked children frightening their animals and blighting their crops. In fact, the name bogeymen literally translates to little boys. The bogeymen are said to love causing fear and panic, though no one knows what their ultimate intentions are beyond spreading fear. Many have theorized that they are merely pranksters who love to laugh at the misfortunes of others. Farmers used to call them fairy pests. Witnesses have described the bogeymen as young boys between 6 and 12, with pale skin, dark eyes, and an evil, unnatural smile. Those who have encountered the bogeymen report an overwhelming sense of dread when they're around, and a feeling that these creatures who present themselves as children are not children at all. More recently, stories of black-eyed children terrifying innocent victims have been surfacing in popular culture. And these stories sound eerily close to old Irish and Scottish tales of the bogeymen. Perhaps these modern-day black-eyed children are really the bogeymen, those pesky fairies who have discovered a new game, a new way to terrify us. Thanks for watching. That was Entry 2 in the Scary Fairy Bestiary. My plan is to compile an entire dictionary of scary fairies here on the channel, so be sure to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I had a lot of fun doing the research for this one, especially looking into all the different types of boogeymen in the world. There's a surprisingly huge amount. If you've had an encounter with something you think could have been a boogeyman, I'd love to hear from you. My email is in the description. I've got a lot more videos planned, including some new true fairy encounter stories, so be sure to subscribe if you're new, like, and comment. And until next time, this has been a visit from your scary fairy godmother.